It's Saturday, and you know what that means. Welcome everyone to another episode of Stan Hansen Saturday. This is episode number 21. Fredo Esparza here. And this week we look back at Stan Hansen teaming up with Dan Kroffat against the Rock and Roll Express from All Japan Pro Wrestling's October 26, 1988 Kurikan Hall show in Tokyo, Japan. 1988 was the year Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express, debuted for All Japan Pro Wrestling. Their first All Japan Pro Wrestling tour was in May of that year, and their second came along in October. This was one of their last matches on their second tour. The Rock and Roll Express tries to get the fans behind them before the match starts. Ricky Morton and Dan Kroffat start the match as there are some fans chanting rock and roll, rock and roll. Shoulder blocks between the two to start, followed by a leg takedown into a drop kick by Ricky Morton. More chants for the Rock and Roll Express. Hansen runs in and attacks Ricky Morton. All four men start to brawl in the ring. Morton gets whipped into the ropes by Hansen, but he kicks him and starts to chop at him. Kroffat and Gibson brawl near the ropes. Morton helps Gibson out, and they finally get the match restored. Kroffat gets Morton in a full Nelson. Morton breaks free and ducks as Gibson hits Kroffat with a clothesline. Gibson appears to be limping as he gets back in his corner. Kroffat whips Morton into the ropes and hits him with a shoulder block. Morton reverses a whip into the corner and drop kicks Kroffat. Kroffat goes for a foot stomp off the ropes, but Morton raises his legs and sends Kroffat to the outside of the ring. Hansen attacks Morton while this is all going on. Ref gets him out of the ring. Morton with a tope suicida to the outside at Dan Kroffat, which was really cool to see. Morton tags Gibson. Kroffat with a leg takedown, monkey flip off the ropes by Kroffat. That then leads to Robert Gibson getting him with an atomic drop. Kroffat, quick back up on his feet, takes Gibson to his corner and tags Hansen. Hansen whips Gibson into the ropes and elbows him out of the ring. Hansen then grabs Morton and whips him into the ropes and catches him with a knee and tosses him to the outside. Hansen beats on Morton outside the ring. He places Morton in front of the ring post and goes for the lariat, but Morton moves out of the way. Gibson back into the ring and he gets Hansen with a wrist lock. Double teamwork by the Rock and Roll Express. Morton back in, but Hansen arm drags him off and kicks him in the midsection. He sends Morton at Kroffat's knee. Snapmare by Hansen and an elbow across the top of Morton's head. He elbows Morton again. Finally, he tags in Kroffat, who kicks Morton. Suplex by Kroffat, and he gets a 2 count on Morton. Backbreaker by Kroffat, and he charges at Morton, but Morton ducks and Kroffat hits the ropes. Kroffat saves himself and pulls himself back into the ring to the surprise of all the fans. Morton then elbows him and sends him over the top rope. Hansen charges at Morton and continues to beat on him outside. Gibson tries to make the save, but Hansen attacks him too. Kroffat returns and he and Hansen toss Morton back into the ring. Kroffat gets a 2 count on Morton. He starts to stretch out Ricky Morton's arms. They exchange punches. Morton gets the upper hand. Kroffat recovers with a super kick. Gibson charges in and saves Morton from a pin attempt. Kroffat places Morton over his shoulders and then runs and then slams him down onto the mat. He goes for the pin, but Morton reverses for a near fall. Kroffat escapes and tags in Hansen. Sunset flip pin attempt by Morton gets blocked by Hansen and he drops an elbow. Reverse chinlock by Hansen while Gibson tries to get the crowd to cheer for Morton. Kroffat back in and he continues the attack on Morton. Surprise small package attempt by Morton, but Kroffat kicks out. Kroffat quickly back up and he lifts Morton up by the hair twice. That was a cool spot in this match. Really, every time Kroffat was in there with Morton was really cool. Actually, Morton against both of them was really great. Hansen back in and he drops a knee across Morton's body. He whips him into the corner, but Morton moves out of the way. He arm drags Hansen, but Hansen's quickly back up. Another small package pin attempt by Morton, but Hansen always comes back and knocks him back down. Morton catches him with a drop kick. Whip reversal by Hansen into the corner, and he continues to kick at Morton's back and knocks Gibson off the ring apron. Hansen with a pile driver on Morton, but they are near the ropes. Hansen whips Morton into the corner and misses an elbow. Gibson climbs up to the top rope and Morton undercuts Hansen by tripping him, and Gibson lands a cross-body block off the ropes. They each take turns trying to pin Hansen. Kroffat runs in and tosses Gibson out. Hansen motions to the crowd for the lariat and whips Morton into the ropes. Morton ducks the lariat once, but Hansen turns and catches him with the lariat and gets the pin for his team. Fun match. This was really fun. Morton worked most of the match for his team, which might have been due to Robert Gibson being hurt at the time, or just their way of focusing on Morton's ability to sell. Hansen versus Morton was fantastic, and I would have loved to have seen the Rock and Roll Express against maybe a Hansen team, and also a Dan Kroffat and Doug Furness tag team match. That would have been fantastic as well. I'm sure that I wonder if I think they did cross paths at one point. I'll look that up at some point. If there is a match between those two teams, it would definitely be fun. That's all for this week. Be sure to click the like button and subscribe to the Retro Wrestling YouTube channel. We truly appreciate that, and remember, every Saturday we celebrate by recapping a Stan Hansen match.